Hello, my convicts and convicts. Yes, I decided to convict bring you guys and gals another video. So people were asking about the R2. A lot of people asking like, is it good and stuff like that. So I'm kind of going to talk through a few points, discuss a little bit, and also I'm going to give some feedback what I would like to see or what I feel would necessarily make the Netduma R2 even more brilliant than what it already is. And some obviously suggestions, they may be able to do some suggestions maybe too outlandish for Netduma R2, maybe Netduma R2.1 or Netduma 3, I don't know. I'll have to see, but let's talk about it. So, first of all, as you can see here, we're on the Geo Filter Map. This is a really cool place. The main areas you're going to use here is going to be always Geo Filter, the ping heat map, and quality of service and connection benchmark is the main like four I'm going to talk about today. So Geofilter, basically you come in here and you get what's known as the polygon of trust for this one. But if you go and click down here, you can change it into the circle of trust. And basically what this means is that anyone within the circle can join your game. And then it obviously depends as well on ping assist to what assist it's going to give you or what assistance is going to give you a good ping. Now, as you can see, even from games today, even though I was getting like 25 ping to the data center to London, I was still getting sometimes between 30 and 60 because it generally, what it does in Apex, or I feel like it does in Apex, is it connects you to a tunnel, you get connected to a data center, and then it actually connects you to another player. So your connections combine from one player to another. So if you've got someone who's lagging quite a lot, then obviously it's going to affect your game as well. And you seem to have to connect, because what I've tried to do is just pick it for the data center, which is one here in London, which I'll show you in a moment. But for some reason, when I shrink this just to pick that London server and then put my ping assist to the right variable where I feel that I would get people, you don't get anyone joining. It won't join anyone. It just says that it's not able to join or it fails. So you have to expand your field to include like other areas like I'm doing here, so that other people can join. I'm assuming that what it does, it connects to the data center and then it connects to the player. Anyway, so when you come here, you can choose your circle of trust. You use your ping assist, which you can check out and use the connection benchmark to find out what your ping is. And you can go also here and choose if you want to be kilometers or miles to find out what distance you're allowing people to join. These are normally enabled. Strict mode basically means that it will be very strict on letting other connections, and it will restrict anyone who's outside of your circle from joining. Auto ping host means that it will ping down here what the host is, and it'll tell you what their ping is, and it'll tell you the send and receive rates. And then you've got fast search, which will basically reduce the times and obviously for connecting to other players, but it will obviously take out other features that might be important. It might rush to do things rather than properly taking the time to make sure that the players at the right connection and within your circle and whatnot. So you have to kind of pick whether or not you want to wait that a little bit longer, which I don't mind waiting even a minute or two. Doesn't really matter. So further down here, you've got the allow and deny. You can allow and deny any server. So when a server pings up and it goes here to the auto host area, you can then allow and deny it. So if you feel like it's a good server, you can allow. If it's bad, you can deny, and it means it'll block that server from being able to be connected to. Obviously, make sure that it's going to be a server where you're going to get other servers in that area. If it's going to be just the one server, then you may have to leave it enabled and just kind of avoid it if you can, if that's possible. Ping heat map, basically here is where you can go in. You can actually find out where all the games are. Now, the devs have been putting and implementing games in here, which you can select from a list. And as you can see, you've got Apex Legends here. So as you can see, from my area, which I live obviously from the UK, all my connections are here. I'll zoom in a little bit more so you can see. And then you've got 19, you've got 25, 25, 22, 23, and 33, which I was getting actually 50, 60, which is kind of weird saying that all these servers seem to be giving me good connections, but yet the game was saying I was getting like 50, 60 ping. So I'm assuming it was because obviously, like I said, you're connecting to other players. It's not based on just the data center or the server. It actually connects you to the other player that you're playing with, and it's based on their connection as well. So their connection can drag your connection drastically out of proportion from what I could see. So here you can also go and schedule. You can schedule for it to actually track what the connection is doing. And at the bottom here, once you click on one like this one, you'll get a extra piece here, and it tells you the server's IP, and you can add it to a list as well. And it tells you what the average ping is, and it tells you what the current ping is currently doing at the moment. As you can see, it went from 22 to 32, then back to 23. And you can do the slider time span of different things like 24 hours, 6 hours. So if you put 24 hours, it'll obviously do it over 24 hours. If you do it over every hour, it'll do it over every hour. And you can also, I believe you can track this. Now, I don't generally use the heat map that often, but I think with the schedule, you can actually schedule it to run tests. So it'll keep on running this test here, and then you can have a huge map of what it was doing within that hour or 24 hours, which is pretty cool. You can also obviously select with games, or you can create your own, as I've done here with tests, as you can see. This one, I think this one was for Call of Duty, or it was for Apex, I can't remember. But it was giving me these servers here, 26 and 22. And then you can find out if that's a good server. Again, you can add it to a specific list. So any servers you find in here, in this lot, you can actually save it and assign it to a area, or you can choose to change its name, so on and so forth, and you can delete them out of here as well. Completely up to you what you're wanting to do with it. Now, the first thing I would like to see them do while we're here is maybe integrate the ping heat map and geofilter into one. I don't know why they've separated them into two. I just feel like sometimes when you're in the ping heat map and you find a server you like, you can add it to a list. There's no way of transferring that information, as far as I'm aware, over to the geofilter map here. So you can then obviously use such as like the polygon mode and then go, okay, this server over here, pretend there was a server over here. This server's really, really good. So I want to have this one, connected. I would like it so if it was integrated, maybe you could save it to a certain list, and then you could just select that list, and it would automatically put polygons around those servers, so that all you need to do then is just start the game, and it will select from one of those servers. Another thing I would like to see with the ping assist here, have maybe a minimum and a maximum value, so you can choose what the minimum ping assist you would prefer it to be and what the maximum ping assist you would prefer it to be. So you could have the minimum, whatever your minimum is, which I think mine is around 17, what my actual physical ping can go down to, and then maybe have one up here so it could go up to maybe 30. So anything between 17 and 30 for either servers or connecting to other players and stuff, and have it so it's strict, so it doesn't go beyond those. So if it knows it can't get you into game, then obviously it doesn't put you into games unless it's got between 17 and 30. That'd be really cool, I think, for an addition on here. Also, if you put down in the comments below everything you feel that you would like to see on Netduma, I will pass this on to Fraser and the gang, so obviously they can have a look at it, and maybe they'll look at it and they'll let me know if there's anything that they feel that they could add on, or maybe they won't. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not going to count on it, but they are very, very responsive and a really good dev team, and they do normally respond to everything I generally send them. So you never know. So if you put in comments below what you would like to see added, and yeah, we'll see what we can do. Anyway, so we'll go on to the quality of service. The quality of service here allows you to obviously choose your connections, and here is a little table in which you can prioritize certain devices over other devices for download and upload speed. So you can then click on these and it'll actually bring a pop-up here. I'll not do that because I think it shows IPs, but you click on one of these and then it'll bring up here, and then you can choose what bandwidth you want to set to that specific device, because obviously here you can only see you can set 70% to PlayStation, but how much download is that? Obviously I'm on the max value for 100 and 100 for both download and upload, but obviously you can prioritize how much of that 35 you want to give to the PlayStation, how much of the 5 upload you want to give to the PlayStation or to the PC, depending if you're playing games and streaming, which I was today. So obviously for me, as you can see, if I go over to the upload side, more of it was prioritized towards the Ryzen to make sure that I had at least 3 upload for the Ryzen, and then obviously most of it left over for the PlayStation just in case, to make sure I've got at least 2 upload for the PlayStation 5. One thing I would like to see here, as you can see, there's two features. This tab up here, which has a feature, and this feature here. Now this can set bandwidth speeds. You can change speeds. You can auto detect speed by clicking this, and it'll actually tell you what speed is. What I would like to see happen in this particular section is have it so it automatically changes your speeds itself. So it's auto detecting your speeds all the time that it's plugged in and then it's turned on. Or maybe have like an on and off button, so you can turn it on when you want it to do it, turn it off when you don't want it to do it, and then it will auto continually test your download and upload speed and change it automatically and save it automatically. So you don't need to keep like certain times of the day thinking, well, it's evening now, more people at home, will I have dropped download and upload speed? Let me run a test just to see. I would like it to be consistently running tests all the time, the Netduma itself, and automatically changing these values to match your connection so that you're not oversaturating your download and upload speeds beyond what they should be. Now, excuse me, my voice is going, so I've just been live streaming for 4 hours, so you have to excuse my voice. For the auto setup feature, I really like this. You can either begin auto setup and let it do it yourself, or you can go into advanced now, and it gives you all these options to choose what your target ping versus your idle ping. You can choose the minimum download you want it to be able to push down to, the minimum upload you want it to push down to, anti-spikes, and then choose how big you want your spikes to be. So if you think that 50 milliseconds is way out of, that's far too high, from 20 to 50 is kind of insane, you can then obviously bring it down and go, okay, well, what I'll do, if my connection gives me 20 milliseconds, say this is 20, then obviously what I want to do is I want to prioritize anti-spikes to maybe be around about 30, or maybe if you want to try and go a bit further down, go to 25, then choose how much download and upload speed you want. Now you can only go down to maximum of 30% for both download and upload. For me, obviously, because I've got 35 download, I can go down and still have plenty of megabits to obviously run with. If I was doing with upload speed, then obviously this is more of a problem because the maximum I would have left, the minimum I could go down to is 2 megabits per second. I don't want to go any further than that because that leaves too to run mobiles and the PC and everything, and that would be far too low. So for me, I feel like I would probably need to keep it around about that 70% mark for upload speed to make sure that I've got enough uploads to carry over and to make sure that my connection stays. And then you can begin the auto setup, which I'm not going to do. I did do a previous video. If you check through the previous videos, I did do one running quite a few tests on it. So here you can see the traffic prioritization. You can prioritize now gaming / voice and video, as you can see here, which is really cool. As you can see, it's been prioritizing my games for today's live stream to give me the best connection possible. For classified Duma games, which you can see here if you click on that, all the classified games that are set up here, like cloud gaming, Xbox, GeForce, which are under uncategorized, and then you've got all these ones here that it will pick up, like games consoles, Crossfire, Valorant, Frostbite Engine, Apex, and whatnot. So you can see here you can choose from these. You can even choose like live stream, Mixer, Twitch, and you can add those categories on there as well, which I think is awesome. So for this one, like I said, the only one I would see is having it so it auto changes these values for you. So it's running the speed test all the time in the background, and then it's constantly changing your download and upload speeds to match what they should be. And then you just need to move the sliders where you want it, and it recognizes where the sliders are and just matches it obviously with the download and upload speed that's here. And maybe you have like a notification or something if you're dropping below a certain speed and it feels like it can't do that, or maybe have it so it detects that it's oversaturating, and then obviously can configure to move it to the best place possible where the Duma thinks it would be back to normal. Would be really cool as well. For this, I kind of like this as it is. One thing I would like to be able to do with this one in particular, if I could mention it, is when you come in and you choose and you move the slider, have it so you can be able to do is move this slider and have to move this slider up to whichever value, to 0 or to less or to more, and it not affect any of these, and then have to move these sliders to then obviously make up the rest of the bandwidth or prioritization. So I'll have individual prioritization that doesn't reflect on the others. So if I move this up and down, it doesn't actually touch these. These stay at the same value as what they are. So I don't have to keep going, let me move this, and then I've got to move this, and I've got to move this, got to move this, got to move this, got to move this, and keep doing this. As you can see, it's pushing it around to the other ones, and I don't want it to do that. I want it to be 0. And I want it to be able to be separated, so each one only moves individually. It doesn't give back to the others if I move this slider. It should just all stay what it is on here, and then you just move them out where you want the percentages to be and have them all separate. And not all obviously conflicting with each other if you move. Because if someone else joins onto this, then obviously it's going to give them automatically allocated the bandwidth, and I don't want it to do that. I want to be able to prioritize the devices myself and know that the setting is going to stay the same no matter who connects to this. It will always stay the same, and it won't interrupt these two values, because these are my perfect values. And if I now don't remember these values and someone joins, then it's going to obviously disrupt these two values and I'll not remember what they are. Or maybe at least having the opportunity to be able to save these values and then be able to click on it somewhere up here or choose something so you can put the value, and being able to move these without interfering with any of the other devices on here, and having unique separate sliders for each one, so you can just move it up and down and save it, and then if anything else joins, it will join with whatever bandwidth is left, or it will stay at 0 if it is in fact on 0 for that device, unless I prioritize it more and do that obviously for the same for the download and upload speed as well. The other one I want to talk about obviously is a connection benchmark. This is pretty cool. This is a new integrated thing that they brought in with the new OS, the new Duma OS, which is really good, because we had to keep going to a website, but the website stopped being manned by the people who were working on it. And the issue is we weren't able to find out where our ping spikes were, because we didn't really have a proper software. So now that they've integrated this kind of idea into this, is really, really cool. Because it means now I know what my speed test is, what my download and upload speed is, what my average ping test is going to be if I've got any packet loss or jitter, and what my test is going to be for my connection under load, which means that it's going to run programs, or it's going to sort of push on your connection a bit to give you an idea of what it's going to be at busy time sort of thing. It's going to throttle your download, upload, and idle speeds to give you an indication of what if anything on here is going to suffer when you're playing actual games and you're in an actual in-gaming environment and other people using your network and so on and so forth. So it's a really cool tool to give you an idea of obviously what that does on here. You can delete your failed tests, you can delete all tests, you can enable scheduled tests as well, so you can schedule tests and it will run a scheduled test and let you know. You can move this from latest to oldest and know where your test history is. If obviously you've got that, you can click here for schedule test. You can schedule a test and you can tell it to repeat. You can tell it what time and date, and it'll actually schedule the test for you and it'll repeat it and whatever you ask it, which you can just click schedule test, as you can see, and then you just choose, and then you just say next test is on the 5th of March at 3 o'clock, and allow test while internet is in use on there as well, which is pretty cool. So you can actually find out what your test's doing at certain times and not have to worry about constantly coming in and running the test yourself. I don't use it, to be honest, because I don't generally need to schedule a test as such, but it's a nice useful thing to be there just in case you do in fact need it to be there. So I find it's pretty awesome, pretty cool. So yeah, that's about it. So I enjoy the Netduma, but yeah, they're the kind of things I would like to see. So again, I would like them to join both the geofilter and the ping heat map together. Have it so you can save the addresses on there. The other thing, actually, there's one more thing I would like them to do as well, is like the IPs. And obviously, if you go over to the ping heat map and you do what we did, where you can select, but you can actually run the ping heat map yourself to actually see what you're doing during games, and they'll actually show you servers and stuff. But it only shows you ID. It doesn't actually show you the actual server itself. You have to click on it, it gives you an ID, and then you give it to Netduma, and they convert it into a IP address, and then you can use that to use in your ping heat map and select obviously your test. What I would like to see is the ability of this being obviously combined with Geofilter, but a way that you could possibly run it so you could run a scheduled test. Maybe you can do that, I don't know. I'll have to try that out. And then when you're gaming, it just records what servers are, and then you can save them to the Geofilter list or to this list, and then you can keep running tests on those specific servers each time and know, what it's doing. Obviously, if this was connected to the Geofilter, you could have your circle of trust and just have it so that these only work within that circle of trust. It's only working with the servers that you're connecting to on the ping assist side as well. And then you've got your minimum and maximum pings. So in a nutshell, just basically mold them both together, have them as one. I think would be really nice to have them on here, rather than going to ping heat map and trying to eyeball where that server is and then draw around it, or use your ring and go, okay, there's one there, there's one there, there's one there. Obviously, you'll be able to choose and then just lower or shrink the circle depending where you want it to be. Well, that's pretty much it. I really like the Netduma R2. It's been a really, really, really good tool to have. I really do enjoy it. One thing I have noticed that's a bit strange at the moment is, such as like Call of Duty, especially like Modern Warfare, or Warzone, it's not showing pings on the map. So I don't know if it's because they're trying to block Netduma's router from being able to work as such, but there's been an issue where I've been in games and I've been wanting to check out what the ping is and what the send and receive rates are, and it's not actually physically showing up on this map. It's joining games, but I'm getting nothing on here at all, not showing anything. So I'll have to double check with Netduma team to see what that is, and if there is anything that we need to do, maybe like resync to the cloud or anything like that, and see what we can do. So thank you very much, Fraser and the gang. I appreciate you. If you could do something like that, some other features I would like to probably see that obviously you probably won't be able to bring to the Netduma anytime soon is maybe a 4G connection, a bit like this TP link over here. If I unplug it, this TP link over here, which has a little SIM card that goes in and uses 4G. I would like it to have the Netduma so you could have 4G and maybe use both 4G and your internet connection to combine into one and have 4G and an internet connection, a bit like a bonding router. So you've got both. You've got the abilities to have both connections running simultaneously, or maybe load balancing put into this. I think the bonding one would obviously be better because it would mean that both the connections were made into one single internet, rather than load balancing being something that just balances all the devices between two connections, and then it's just saying, right, this one's too high, let me throw them over to this one and sort of try and balance them that way, which I've got a load balancing router, which I did buy, but I've took it off. I don't generally use it, to be honest. But it would be nice to have something like that where you can have 4G installed into your Netduma R3 or Netduma R2.1. That'd be a cool feature, I think. Something I've always wondered if they do. Also, another thing I'd like to see Netduma do, if in the future, is maybe have like a modem and a router in the Netduma R2, so that you've got a really, really good modem made by Netduma and their router made by Netduma that works with both FTTP and FTTC or DSL, VDSL, ADSL connections, and have like one router to rule them all, and it's a modem router from Netduma, and you obviously have software for the modem, which gives you the best connections, and then the router side obviously do the connections, and all we need to know from our side is obviously the internet service provider's username and password to log in and obviously use on our connection. That'd be something else I'd love to see Netduma do, is have their own combi modem and router that works in one box, and we can throw away our BT hubs that are crap and use something that is for gaming, like a proper gaming modem that utilizes the best processors and data transfer to our router. Then that can obviously be side by side, configuring everything, doing everything else we need, and the quality of service side and all that. That'd be really cool, I think. But maybe that will be something of the future. I don't know. But thank you very much. I appreciate everyone for coming by. Don't forget to like, subscribe if you're new. Hit that notification bell if you really want to be notified of all my videos. Again, sorry for my throat, and you can hear it's interfering with my voice a little bit. But I've been on 4 hours talking non-stop, so it happens. And especially screaming at Apex Legends for its no behind audio. Anyway, I'm going. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. And yes, it is I, the Convict, signing out. As always, I salute you, my convicts and convicts, and I'll see you soon in another look and dive, dip, delve, dodge, dive, whatever you want to call it, into the land of Netduma R2. Bye for now.